Welcome to Secrets of Earth. I'm Patrick Viersma, your guide into the world's most remote corners. Today, we descend into the warm, clear waters off the coast of Queensland, Australia, into an ecosystem so large, so complex, and so alive that it registers from orbit as a turquoise ribbon stretching along the edge of a continent. This is the Great Barrier Reef. From the window of the International Space Station, traveling at 28,000 kilometers per hour, 400 kilometers above the Earth, the shallow lagoons of the reef glow in an iridescent blue against the darker, deep water of the Coral Sea. Astronauts have photographed it with telephoto lenses and described the view as unmistakable. It is, by most measures, the only living structure on Earth of significant scale to be recognized from low orbit. It stretches for over 2,300 kilometers along the northeastern coast of Australia, roughly the distance from London to Moscow, and covers an area of approximately 344,000 square kilometers, making it the world's largest coral reef system by a significant margin. It is also a city, not a metaphorical one. The Great Barrier Reef is a functioning, layered, internally differentiated urban system with a foundation, an energy supply, a sanitation network, a diplomatic corps, a communications infrastructure, and a set of existential threats it is currently struggling to survive. Understanding it as a city is not just a poetic convenience. It is, scientifically, the most accurate way to describe what is happening out there. Today, we aren't just looking at fish and coral. We are looking at the infrastructure of the most successful biological metropolis in the history of the planet. Every city needs a foundation. The foundation of this turquoise empire is built by a creature you could easily miss with the naked eye: the coral polyp. A coral polyp is, in structure, almost absurdly simple. It is, at its most basic, a cylinder of soft tissue, a stomach with a ring of stinging tentacles at one end. By itself, a single polyp is a vulnerable speck of jelly in a vast ocean, nearly invisible, nearly nothing. What the polyp does with that simple body is one of the most consequential acts in the history of life on Earth. Using seawater, the polyp extracts dissolved calcium and carbonate ions and deposits them beneath its soft body as a hard skeleton of calcium carbonate, limestone. The polyp is building its home, one molecular layer at a time. When it dies, the skeleton remains. New polyps settle on top and begin building again. Billions of polyps across hundreds of years, building upon the accumulated skeletons of their ancestors, produce the branching cathedrals, the flat plains, the brain-like domes that form the physical architecture of the reef. The Great Barrier Reef system has been accumulating in its present form for approximately 6,000 to 8,000 years, since rising sea levels after the last ice age established the depth and temperature conditions that coral requires, though reef activity on the underlying Sahul Shelf has occurred for far longer. The calcium carbonate construction is impressive in scale, but it is not what makes the coral polyp the most energy-efficient builder on Earth. That distinction belongs to a relationship hidden inside the polyp's own tissue. Living within the cells of the coral are microscopic, single-celled algae called zooxanthellae. This is the foundational partnership of the reef, what you might call, without exaggeration, the solar bargain. Through photosynthesis, the zooxanthellae converts sunlight and dissolved carbon dioxide into sugars, providing the coral with up to 90% of the energy it needs to grow, reproduce, and build its skeleton. In exchange, the coral provides the algae with a safe, sunlit habitat and a reliable supply of the carbon dioxide and nitrogen compounds the algae need to photosynthesize. This partnership is what makes the reef possible. Without it, a coral polyp is a slow, marginally functional filter feeder, generating perhaps enough energy to survive, but not enough to build at the scale required to construct a structure visible from orbit. With it, the polyp becomes a solar-powered limestone factory, channeling the energy of the tropical sun directly into the construction of one of the most complex ecosystems on Earth. But the partnership also defines the reef's central vulnerability. When seawater temperatures rise even a small amount, the coral's thermal tolerance, as little as 1 degree Celsius above the seasonal maximum, sustained for more than a few weeks, the coral experiences a breakdown in the relationship. The zooxanthellae, which produce reactive oxygen compounds under heat stress, are expelled from the coral's tissue. Within days, the coral bleaches, the vibrant color drains away, leaving behind a ghostly white skeleton of calcium carbonate. The polyps themselves are still alive, but without their algae, they have lost their primary energy source and are slowly starving. If temperatures return to normal quickly enough, some corals can be recolonized by zooxanthellae and recover. If the heat persists, the corals die. Since 1998, the Great Barrier Reef has experienced 6 mass bleaching events. The most recent, in the summer of 2021 to 2022, affected more than 90% of the reef's coral. Since 1985, the reef has lost more than half of its total coral cover. The city is under siege, and the besieging force is heat. In any functioning city, the infrastructure is only as good as the crew that maintains it. If the coral polyps are the architects, the rest of the reef's residents form the maintenance workforce, the janitors, the engineers, the sanitation department. The reef's economy is governed by scarcity. The crystal clear tropical water of the Coral Sea is, paradoxically, almost nutrient poor. Most of the phosphorus and nitrogen that plants need to grow have been taken up by organisms long ago. The reef thrives not despite this scarcity, but because of it. The system has evolved to recycle every atom of energy that passes through it with extraordinary efficiency. Almost nothing leaves the system as a waste. Central to this recycling operation is the parrotfish. To the casual observer, a parrotfish is a large, spectacularly colored fish moving slowly across the reef. To the ecosystem, it is the most important maintenance contractor on the payroll. The parrotfish does not have individual teeth. Instead, its jawbones have fused into a beak, hard, curved, and powerful enough to bite through solid limestone. Behind that beak, in the throat, is a second set of grinding structures called the pharyngeal mill, which pulverizes whatever the beak sends it. The parrotfish feeds on the thin layer of algae that grows over dead sections of coral. But the limestone substrate comes with the algae and the parrotfish swallows it. The pharyngeal mill grinds it into a paste. The organic material is digested, and the calcium carbonate, the limestone, exits the fish as a plume of fine, white powder. Large parrotfish species can process hundreds of kilograms of limestone per year. The largest species, the bumphead parrotfish, produces up to 320 kilograms of sand annually per individual. Much of the white sand on the beaches of tropical islands in and around reef systems is, in a direct and literal sense, the excretions of the parrotfish. The ecological consequence of this is profound. Without constant grazing, algae would overgrow the dead sections of coral, colonizing the substrate and preventing new coral larvae from settling and growing. The parrotfish clears the slate. It is, simultaneously, a sand factory and a gardener, turning the reef's limestone into beaches and keeping the living coral's expansion corridors open. The other critical service industry operating in the reef is the cleaning station. At specific locations across the reef, typically a particular coral head or overhang, small fish like the cleaner wrasse establish a permanent service post. They advertise their presence with a distinctive, undulating swimming pattern that reef residents recognize. Large predators, sharks, groupers, barracudas, moray eels, travel sometimes considerable distances to reach these stations. When they arrive, something remarkable happens. They halt. They adopt an open-mouthed posture, suspending their predatory behavior completely, and allow the wrasse to enter their mouth, traverse their gill arches, and remove parasites, dead tissue, and bacteria from surfaces the large fish cannot reach themselves. The cleaner wrasse receives a reliable, high-protein meal from every visit. The client receives a health maintenance service that would otherwise be unavailable in the crowded biological environment of the reef. Neither party could access this benefit alone. It is a cross-species mutual benefit relationship repeated thousands of times per day across the reef, representing one of the clearest examples in nature of cooperation between predator and potential prey, sustained not by sentiment, but by the simple logic that the deal is good for both parties. Even the most successful cities have their crises. For the Great Barrier Reef, one of the most dramatic recurring threats comes not from outside, but from within: the crown of thorns starfish. The crown of thorns is a large starfish, some individuals reaching 40 centimeters or more across, with between 7 and 21 arms densely covered in rigid, venomous spines. It is a specialist predator, feeding almost exclusively on living coral polyps. Its feeding mouth is direct and disquieting. It climbs onto a coral head, everts its stomach through its mouth, spreads the stomach tissue across the surface of the coral, and secretes digestive enzymes that liquefy the polyp tissue in place. The digested material is reabsorbed. What remains is bleached coral skeleton. In their natural population densities, crown of thorns starfish play a legitimate ecological role. By preferentially consuming fast-growing coral species, they create space on the reef for slower-growing, more architecturally complex corals, increasing structural diversity. They are part of the system. When their populations explode, however, the result is catastrophic. The trigger for crown of thorns outbreaks is primarily nutrient enrichment. Agricultural runoff, nitrogen and phosphorus from fertilizers, washes off the Queensland coast into the reef's inshore waters and stimulates phytoplankton blooms. These blooms provide the food supply that crown of thorns larvae require to survive to settlement. Under nutrient-enriched conditions, far more larvae survive than the reef's predator community can control, and adult populations build rapidly toward outbreak levels. Thousands of starfish per reef section advancing across the coral in a slow-moving wave of consumption can strip a reef section of its living coral cover in a matter of weeks. The crown of thorns outbreaks are a direct consequence of the land use practices on the Australian coast. The reef's insurrection is fed from the farms. For a long time, we thought of the ocean as a silent world. We assumed that the life of the reef operated in a kind of visual grace, colorful but quiet, beautiful but mute. We were listening with the wrong organs. Lower a hydrophone into a healthy section of the Great Barrier Reef, and the soundscape that emerges is overwhelming. The constant background sizzle of pistol shrimp, crustaceans that snap a specialized claw shut so rapidly that it generates a cavitation bubble, a momentary vacuum that collapses with sufficient force to stun or kill small prey, creates a continuous frying sound across the reef. Over this, the territorial drumming and honking of damselfish, the grunting of groupers, the low-frequency rumbles of passing whales. The whole system is in constant acoustic conversation at volumes and frequencies that we cannot hear from above the surface. This acoustic environment is not incidental. It is infrastructure. The larvae of fish and invertebrates that will one day repopulate the reef are born in the open ocean, sometimes hundreds of kilometers from where their parents lived. In their earliest stages, they cannot navigate by sight. They are too small. The reef is over the horizon, and the ocean offers no visual landmarks. But they can hear. The sound signature of a living reef, its specific mixture of snapping shrimp, territorial calls, and the biological static of a dense, active community, travels for kilometers through the water column and provides a directional beacon for larvae completing their settlement journey. Larvae of many species have been shown in controlled experiments to orient toward reef sounds when offered a choice. This means that the acoustic health of the reef is not just a consequence of biological activity. It is a recruitment mechanism. A reef that falls silent because its community has died or declined produce a weaker acoustic signature, and the larvae that might have settled there, the next generation of fish, the next generation of coral cleaning organisms, cannot find it. Reef decline can be self-reinforcing, not because of the loss of physical habitat alone, but because of the loss of the sound that advertises the habitat's existence. A reef going silent is not just a reef dying. It is a reef becoming invisible to its own future. The Great Barrier Reef is the most complex living system on Earth that humans have studied in anything approaching comprehensive detail, and we are still discovering structures, relationships, and mechanisms that were unknown a decade ago. It is a masterpiece of collective biology, built over thousands of years through the aggregate work of creatures individually too small to see. It is also, right now, in serious trouble. More than half of its coral has been lost since 1985. Its bleaching events are becoming more frequent and more severe as ocean temperatures rise. The runoff from coastal agriculture continues to fuel crown of thorns outbreaks. The acoustic beacon that guides its larvae home is growing quieter. But it is still here. Its parrotfish are still crunching. Its cleaning stations are still operating. Its larval fish are still navigating by the sound of snapping shrimp toward a home they have never seen. The question of whether the Great Barrier Reef continues to exist as a functioning ecosystem is not a question about biology. The biology knows exactly what to do. It is a question about what we choose to do with the land and the atmosphere that surround it. We share this planet with millions of stories, most of them unfolding in the silence of the deep or the shadows of the canopy. Thank you for journeying with me into the world of the Great Barrier Reef. I'm Patrick Viersba. There are many secrets of Earth if you only know where to listen. I'll see you on the next horizon. Until then, follow our coordinates by subscribing to or following the show. It ensures that you never miss a step into the unknown.